This show is brought to you by a man so successful, he got a podcast. This is Jeremy McComb, his podcast thing. Oh, Christ. This is going to be terrible.
Welcome to the show, friends. Hope y'all are staying warm and safe as a lot of cities around the United States have plunged into a crazy winter weather, like everywhere. Cold-ass temperatures everywhere. People are without power and heat. People other places who aren't dealing with that are locked down from a pandemic. Our interactions have been totally limited again. Our connections with each other, again, limited. And it can cause a few things to happen. And we can start to overthink things. We can start overanalyzing ourselves, our decisions, who we are. We can start looking a little too closely at our flaws, looking in the mirror, looking at some of those lines. And then you start to allow all these feelings of regret and doubt and not feeling good enough or young enough or successful enough. And those things start to creep in and take over. And once we allow these thoughts in, it just gets much more difficult to do the things that we need to do in order to make ourselves healthy and to feel good. And so today, I wanted to hit a few of these things today, two really seemingly different topics, but they totally connect in our happiness and our journey to freedom and true happiness with ourselves. And the first one is we have to practice not using our voice against ourselves. But, like most issues, we have to admit, number one, that we're doing it. We have to notice it. And so many of us use our voice in our minds so cruelly, with so little compassion for ourselves, that it often is just part of our process. We don't even notice that we're doing it. And we're saying things to ourselves that would fucking end your career if you said it to other people and it landed on, some video on the internet. Things that you think about yourself. Things that you would say to yourself in your mind after a massive fuck up. You huge mistake. Or you've got a problem with food. What things do you say to yourself after you smash a box of Oreos? You can't remember the answers for your test. You lose a relationship or a friendship. I'm betting the things that we're saying to and about ourselves during those times aren't the kinds of things that build us to be better people. Now, obviously, there's times where we need tough talk for ourselves. We need to tough talk ourselves. I do it every morning to get my old ass out of bed at 4:45 after I've been asleep for 4 hours to go train jiu-jitsu for 90 minutes to get my ass kicked. The last thing I want to do at 4:45 is get out of bed. And I have to shut up that inner voice of comfort that wants to stay in bed asleep. So I have to use my voice to say, put your feet on the ground, get your lazy ass out of bed. People are outworking you right now. Get up. I have buzzwords in my mind that work to get my feet on the floor. And I use those buzzwords to motivate my sleepy ass to get out of bed. But that's different than what I'm talking about. That's different than using our voice to abuse ourselves. Because with the motivation talk in my head, once I do get up, once I do go train at 7:30, by the time 7:30 rolls around in the morning, I'm beat up, my blood is pumping, I'm ready to go get shit done. Whatever it is I got in front of me, I'm ready to go. But that's different from the voice I'm talking about when we're telling ourselves, you're ugly, you're fat, you're not good enough, you're never going to make it. You're not, everybody is better than you. You're not talented enough. Whatever those voices are, we have to realize when we say these things to ourselves, why we're saying them. And maybe most importantly, we have to realize when we're saying them. You have to have the strength in those moments to allow yourself to have a rebuttal to those thoughts, to remove that from being common practice in our minds, to understand why we're thinking it. If you binge eat and you're sitting there and you tell yourself what a piece of shit you are, you're making it worse. You have to ask yourself, why am I doing this? How do I change it? Instead of just sitting there talking about how terrible we feel. I can't believe you're eating. How do we change it? We have to find the willpower and the strength to change, but it's up to us. Each of us to realize that it's happening and to change it within ourselves, because you are good enough. We are good enough. You are able to not eat that whole box of cookies. You are strong enough to start something new. You are driven enough to go after that promotion or to start your own business. But self-talk becomes reality. If you practice to use your voice to motivate in a productive way and not abuse ourselves, you will see the change. You will feel the change. If we use our voices to forgive ourselves for what we may have done or what we may have fucked up or injured or people we may have hurt, those things happen to all of us. But we have to use our voice as motivators as well as sounds of forgiveness and redemption. We have to reframe our inner voice to use it as a motivator, because we're going to stumble and we're going to fall and we're going to fail and we're going to lose. Anybody that's trying something is going to fuck up. And that's where the second part of this topic comes in, because most of the verbal abuse we hand down to ourselves is based on our past, our fuck-ups. It's based on shit we've done way back when. And this is something I use constantly for my inner voice, personally, of when those shitty things start to creep back in, you let the voice finish, and then with the same voice, you answer it with, I'm not who I was back then. I forgive myself for that. I take 5 deep breaths, telling myself I am not my mistakes. Yeah, I fucked up. I acknowledge that. I apologized, or I did what I could do to right it, but I will not be held down by an anchor of my past. Yeah, I fucked up. It happens, but I have moved on, and with each breath of these 5 breaths, I'm going to let go in equal parts of feeling shitty. I'm going to let this shit go with each exhale. And when I get through that 5th breath, I will be totally forgiven. I will have totally forgiven myself and moved on. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to fix. It's not going to fucking just go away. It's not just going to fix it. But with practicing that, it will make you feel better in the moment. And continually doing that, it will begin to fix these things. But we have to look at our lives as an hourglass, consistently moving grain of sand by grain of sand, flowing through the present. The future is on the top. Our time, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, getting shorter. Our past piling up on the bottom. Nobody wants to talk about that. But we're dying right now, all of us, as we sit here. And this is kind of where these two ideas intersect of living in the present and using our voice. The present is what we have. It's the only thing we have. It's our time right now. It's not 5 years from now. It is now. What's your gift? What's your favorite thing to do? How do you make it what you do to survive and what you thrive at to get through? We have to look at our definitions of success, and we have to mold those things. Not everybody is going to be on television or movies or on the radio or, a billionaire. We have to reform our definitions of success and realize that we can't call ourselves a piece of shit all day and then be shocked when we believe it, and then be shocked when our work ethic reflects it, when we tell ourselves we're not good enough, and then be shocked when we don't get what we want. We have to be better than fucking up all of the opportunities we have right now, because if you're looking backwards, the opportunities are flying by you. The doors are open. There's windows open, but you've got your fuck-ups of the past clouding your view, because right now in front of you, you have opportunities that you can't see because you're looking backwards. And I've got news for you. We all have that. None of us are perfect. There is no perfect. Everyone you meet, everyone you see on television, everyone you hear on the radio, everyone on this planet is hurting somewhere deep down. Some are on the surface, some are much deeper, but something inside of all of us is hurting and is broken, and it's a struggle for everyone, not just you, not just me, everyone. We can't consistently allow our present to be dictated by our past, which means we've got to stop looking in that rearview mirror. We have to stop focusing on the sand that is laying in the bottom of the glass, doing shit, doing nothing, and start looking at the sand that's slipping through time right now, the present. We've got to be grateful for it. We have to be grateful for who we are and what we've overcome and allow our past to teach us. You don't just erase it. You don't just throw blinders up. We have to allow the past to teach us to overcome the hurdles that are coming again in the future. If God willing, we get to wake up tomorrow. We have to let it remind us not to make the same mistakes again and again, but we don't have to let it define us. You have to tell that voice when it's done telling you that you're fat, that's the old you. The new you is eating right, training hard to be who we know we can be. That we're not going to binge eat anymore. Are you going to slip? Yeah. But that's when that voice has to come back in and defend yourself. Tell the voice that says, I'm not good enough, that's bullshit. I'm going to work every day to prove it to me and only me, because we don't need anyone outside of ourselves to tell us that we're doing well, to tell us that we're happy, to tell us that we're successful, to gauge who we are as humans. It's us. I tell that voice I forgive myself for my mistakes, and I have been forgiven. And I am different and better and moving forward. The hourglass, it's moving. For all of us, our lives are shorter. Our time left is shorter. And what are you going to do with it? What are we going to do with it? Are we going to dwell on the fact that we were homeless? Are we going to dwell on the fact we had a shitty childhood or that we didn't get a fair shake? We can't. Because personal happiness and success begins with forgiveness. Forgiving ourselves. Especially in the face of people throwing your mistakes that you've had right in your face. You're going to get it. A parent, a sibling, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, whoever it is, hurling shit at you for what you've done to keep you low. And you have to verbalize it. That's not me anymore. Yeah, I fucked up, but I moved past it. And if those people haven't, that's their problem. If it's broken beyond repair, fine. But it can't be broken beyond repair by us. If it's them unwilling to accept that you've moved past it and forgiven yourself, that's their problem. Right now, you're changed. You're not that dumbass kid who fucked up and lost everything. You're changed. But this just isn't about talking about it. You have to do it. You can lose everything. I'm talking down to the dirt, to nothing. And you grab a shovel and you get to digging out. And you can build a happy, successful life from divorces, multiple divorces, bankruptcies, deaths, loss, whatever it is. You can rebuild it with your actions and reactions and your purpose and drive and your will to get up and do what other people won't do. But it starts with that voice inside of us. So who are you going to be tomorrow? Are you going to be the you always wanted to be? You got to stop waiting and get after it. You have to move now. Our time is ticking. 5 people in Fort Worth, Texas were killed 3 days ago on an icy highway. All of them had plans for this coming weekend. All of them had goals. All of them have shit laying on their desk that they wanted to get done. Each of us, we're all living on that same ticking clock. You have to live in the now, and we have to use our voices to promote ourselves to happiness, to promote ourselves to success, and go above and beyond to make damn sure that your work ethic doesn't let you down. You have to get up, get moving, and fill yourself with gratitude for all of the things that you have right now. This is a perfect time to do it. People don't have power. If you have a healthy family and a warm house or food, even if your power's off, if you have a blanket and a roof, the very minimum of what's needed to survive, you've got it better than 90% of people on this planet right now. If you've got clean water, if you know where your next meal is coming from, you've got it better than most people in America. We have to train ourselves to use our voices for good and to live in the present while we still can. Now, are we going to keep getting the voices, the negative talk in our minds? Of course we are. We're humans. It continues to leak in. The biggest thing will be how we use our voices to defend ourselves, to not use our voices against ourselves, and to make sure that we're forgiving ourselves so we can live right now in the present. Thanks for joining the 2Dumb2Quit podcast today. If hopefully this hit home. I've been talking about this kind of stuff with a lot of people lately, and I wanted to get it out there. So if it hit home, share it, subscribe to it, tell your friends to subscribe to it. We need each other. We need to connect to stay healthy and to remind ourselves that we are worthy. We're amazing. And there's a ton of people that are sitting out there right now ready to see you shine. So Stay warm, stay safe. Make sure you're sharing this again with your friends. Follow me up on all the socials, and go enjoy your week, friends. I'll chat with you soon.